We may not all face chronic illness or trauma, but at some point everybody will feel distress through anxiety, shame, numbness or sadness. As written by Ruth Allen, author and eco-psychotherapist, in her book The Weathering. This video is about how art holds the power to help us return to self-love. We've all seen messages like these, which says, say affirmations, take long baths, drink green juice, visualize, manifest, think positive. But here's the thing, none of it works. If your body still thinks you're in danger, you journal, nothing will shift. You meditate, you feel more anxious. You do more, but you feel worse. Because when your nervous system is in survival mode, these tools can't land. Gabor Mate, the renowned trauma expert, he puts it clearly. When you have been prevented from learning how to say no, our bodies may end up saying it for us. And that's what unprocessed stress does. It doesn't disappear. It gets stored until something forces it out. And I have always been drawn to healing. For years I practiced journaling, meditation, spiritual tools, affirmations, all of it. And everything helped. In their own way, everything was useful. Or at least it felt like it was helping. But last year I had a near fatal accident. And this time it was different. I couldn't reframe it. No affirmations were enough. My body simply said stop. And then I listened. It was day 2 after my surgery. I made my first digital art piece on my phone in the hospital bed. As a visual artist, I naturally turned to art. It was the only language I knew. I kept making art just to comprehend what had happened, to give form to the pain, the grief, the confusion. I did not know how to speak, to understand anything, but I knew how to paint. That was the only thing I knew. I painted my pain, I painted my confusion, I painted my depression, I painted everything. And that's when I realized something. What do other people do? What do those people do who think that art is for artists? Or art is for fun? Or art is for leisure? Or it's for display? They don't even know the real power of art. And that's when it became very clear to me. I need to share this. Not art is a talent, but art is a nervous system support. Art is a ritual. Art is a return. This isn't just emotional, it's physical. When you create art slowly, intentionally, and I don't mean the landscapes or the still lifes or the faces, it's any kind of art that you create with intention. You engage with all your senses. You create repetition. You breathe deeper and also slower. And there is proof in literature. Eric Maisel, an American psychotherapist and a creativity expert, he writes, making art may be the most important thing you do for your mental health. Not because of what you create. The output is completely irrelevant. It's because of what it creates in you. I'm going to repeat this. It is because of what art creates in you. You regulate, you land, you begin to feel safe without needing words. Art is a process that helps your body relearn safety. You remember how all of us loved making art as a child, and then suddenly we stopped making art because the teacher in the art class said that there was one person who was an artist? That was wrong. We all are artists. Art is needed to help our mental well-being. And you don't need to survive trauma to need healing, Everyone experiences emotional weather. And if all we are given are thinking tools, we are going to be stuck in overthinking and we'll be stuck in our heads, disconnected from our bodies. And that's why we need art, because it takes that thinking to our hands, and from our hands it releases in the form of colors to the paper. It gives shape to what language can't hold. It gives like a bridge back to ourselves. So Elizabeth Gilbert, in her book The Big Magic, she reminds us, she says, you're not required to save the world with your creativity. You're allowed to simply love it. So don't put pressure on yourself when you're creating art. You don't need to be a great artist. You don't even need to be good. You just need a space where you can return to yourself. Without judgment, without performance, without fixing. So if you've tried the journaling, the meditation, the mindset work, keep doing it. But you still feel like something is missing, like you could add something to your journey, add art. It add that kind of presence. Art has given me that kind of presence. It has helped me stay. When everything else in me wanted to run, I stayed with art. Art stayed with me. And it isn't about painting a masterpiece. I'm saying this again. It is about letting your breath catch up with your body. Letting your hands move when your mind can't. So yes, self-love trips are empty if they only focus on thought and ignore the body. Art isn't just a distraction. It's how you remember yourself. It's how I remembered myself. Again and again. Follow me for more tips on art and healing. And let me know what you think about this.